And here we go. Pumpkin Spice Girls versus the Robot Masters. And we have a first ban Rhaegar and first ban Li Ming. Not surprised by this at all, given the absolute dominance of these two particular heroes in the game right now. First pick, Abathur. What is this craziness? Pumpkin Spice Girls. Cursed Hollow, first pick Abathur. I like it. It's weird, it's wild. I don't think I've seen anyone first pick Abathur in a very long time in a competitive game or a public game, so that's pretty cool. And let's see how Robot Masters wants to respond. Looks like they're looking for a Zagara. Also very strong on this map. You definitely want to look for a good specialist. Zagara's good for the endless creep all over the map, even though it's a big map, and general tribute contest. And we do indeed have a Zagara. And they, well, at this point they could really, with both teams opening with specialists, a little harder to tell what they're going to go into. Though it does look like we will have a Kael'thas here from the side of Robot Masters, and indeed we do have a Kael'thas. Also good in and around the tributes, a lot of poke power and nuke damage. So let's see how Pumpkin Spice Girls responds. A very quickly picked Mage of their own with Jaina. Ice versus Fire. We'll see who wins that one later. In the third pick, they could go into another assassin or a support. It looks like it will be a Tyrande. Currently, I don't really have anything to combo the Tyrande with other than perhaps the Jaina slows. They'll be definitely looking for some sort of frontline there to add to that. And now on the side of the Robot Masters, they get to ban. Robot Masters will probably want to look to pick up something like a Johanna themselves as a frontliner. Be able to easily avoid Johanna arrows and disrupt the front line and the back line. Yeah. Power play, yeah, crazy first pick here. Diaba, for sure. Looks like we're going to have a Thrall ban. I like this. Thrall's definitely one of the strong combos with Tyrande. Not Diablo strong, but strong enough with the Wolf Root. And Sunder's just always plain annoying to play against. So, Pumpkin Spice Girls have really multiple options. They could ban a support, they could ban a warrior they don't want to play against. But, yep, there's an Uther. I was thinking an Uther. And Robot Masters here is definitely going to... Well, they're either going to pick up... They could go double warrior into a support, because KT Zagara is already a lot of damage. Leoric, possibly. I like this. Hopefully we'll get some Entomb action going with Zagara and Kael'thas. That's actually quite good. Can just dump down a lot of AoE damage if you go the Entomb route. And none of those heroes on the enemy team are particularly mobile at the moment. They have no escapes outside of Blink at level 20. So we're looking pretty good for Leoric and Tomb, and if they really want to go bully, a Kharazim, nice, good strong frontliner here, also able to get right up into the enemy team's face. And Illidan, what madness is this? This game is crazy. I mean, they don't have... Tyrande can't keep Illidan alive. Illidan can't keep Illidan alive. Okay, there we go, double support. That makes a lot more sense. I was going to say they have to pick up another support if they want to keep Illidan alive. But with Uther and Rhaegar being banned out by themselves, they don't really have Illidan's best friends. But Tassadar with the shield, especially the Life Leech talent, can really make Illidan shine. And Robot Masters here, they themselves might look to pick up more damage. I mean, they could just throw in a Rainer to be really safe and help keep Illidan down. They could go for another warrior. I mean, a Muradin is always an annoying semi-Illidan counter. Due to the reverberation slowing his attack speed. Yep, and it looks like we're going to have the Muradin. Makes the most sense. And gives them a lot of bully power. I mean, that is a very squishy team on the side of Pumpkin Spice. Very squishy. In fact, Pumpkin Spice has no warriors. This is going to be nuts. No warrior. This is like pub games of old, before the warrior rule. Okay, time to rock this draft. This game. Let's make sure everyone picks their heroes. Okay, so that is an Abathur, Jaina, Tyrande, Illidan, Tassadar for Pumpkin Spice Girls versus a Muradin, Kharazim, Leoric, Kael'thas, Zagara for the side of Robot Masters. This is an interesting draft. Pumpkin Spice Girls is a little crazy for not picking a warrior versus this aggressive a composition. But they might work out for them. We'll just have to see who's the better players. At the end of the day, we'll be switching over to the game here in a minute, just waiting for the last person to ready up. I'm not sure who isn't readied up yet, actually. I can't tell. Ten of 10 players ready. There we go. Okay, well... okay, game is starting. Let me switch the game over. There we go. Well, this could be very one-sided very quickly with the lack of warriors on the side of the Pumpkin Spice Girls. Or it may work out beautifully for them. I suppose we will find out. So, on the side of the Pumpkin Spice Girls, we have Oxymore, team captain on Tassadar, Man Mode on Abathur, Temmie on Jaina, Sophist on Tyrande, Rajar on the Illidan. And the side of the whoops. We'll get rid of that in a moment.
The battle begins.
The Robot Masters, we have Mega Man Fan on Muradin, team captain, Libo on Kharazim, Jared on Zagara, Alla Thonis on Leoric, Lykiaos on the Kael'thas.
Well, what are you waiting
Quick
for?
check to make sure. Oops, no, my scroll screen is not where I need it to be to cast effectively. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Had to turn my scroll down. It's a little too jerky. So, 3 people bottom here. Illidan already dueling it out with the monk. The monk being forced to retreat. Are we gonna have a first blood on this monk? We are! Down goes the Kharazim. This Illidan, though, looking like maybe in a bit of trouble. Not too much, though. The Jaina crits doing a lot of work. Oh, this Leo! Oh my goodness, he almost went down. Crazy stuff happening. Muradin versus Tyrande middle, not an ideal matchup for either heroes, particularly Tassadar versus Kael'thas top. Some crazy aggro bottom. Okay, need to turn down the game volume a tiny bit. Well, so far bottom lane proving to be the most exciting. We have the Mana Addict on the Kael'thas, of course. Illidan going super ham here. Leoric taking his... what's the talent called? Reanimation. That's what I thought it was called. Zagara, of course, the Creep Reconstitution. Kharazim going the heal. Muradin the Reverberation. Tassadar the Conjurer's Pursuit. Abathur going the Locusts. Jaina going for the extra chill. Tyrande going for the heal. And Illidan going for the shield while evasion is active by the look. This Abathur, Illidan, Jaina combo doing a lot of work bottom. Working out actually better than I expected. With that in mind, the Illidan, Abathur, Tassadar shield power will definitely keep Illidan alive a very long time. I think the Pumpkin Spice Girls are going to run into trouble post level 13 when Kilthos has that big power spike. Zagara also has a pretty decent power spike. And or even post level 10 once Entomb starts happening, Phoenix, Maw, Avatar, they're definitely going to run into a bit of difficulty chewing through all that damage. I mean, they do have the damage amp from Jaina, they do have the crit power from the Jaina. So it's possible it all might work out for them, but the raw HP might win out here for the Robot Masters. And the tribute's up now. Post level 4 for both teams. Leoric attempting to get this tribute mildly by himself. Team trickling in here. So we have Gathering Power for KT. Team Venom Spines for Zagara. Tassadar will get out safely. This Jaina maybe in a little trouble, not too much. Monk trying to keep this Murden up versus all this damage while Kilthos in the back secures the tribute. The bully power will prove real, and down goes Tassadar. Wow, look at that body. He just got kicked like a football. To Leoric life drain. That first tribute will go the way of the Robot Masters. But Pumpkin Spice Girls maintaining a slight level lead, mostly thanks to Abathur, curled up here in top lane in his cute pajamas. Now he will reposition, now that the tributes have, whoops, he might get caught here if he's not careful. Zagara doing a number on this bottom tower. The Hydra looks like we'll finish off that tower, but oh, the damage amp, and down goes Zagara to a Hedwig. Killed by an owl. That is not the way you want to die. Muradin, Tassadar middle. This doesn't really go anywhere for either heroes. They can't really do much damage to each other. Level 7 on for both teams now. Let's check out some talents. Jaina, Tassadar going for, what was that secondary shield build? Kala's Embrace. Nice. And of course the Leeching Plasma. Abathur for the Adrenal Overload. Frost Shards, Ice Lance on the Jaina. Pierce and Battle Momentum for the Tyrande. Interesting. Immolation and First Aid for Illidan. Of course, our secondary tributes up, so the teams will look to posture. Jaina not really wanting to be on the front lines there, walking in the bushes. Leoric getting a lot of damage, being forced to retreat. But Kilthos maybe galloping into the rescue, along with the Muradin. What did Muradin take for his level 7 talent? He took Skullcracker. That's a little weird. This Zagara is most assuredly dead, thanks to a Jaina Tyrande combo. And this tribute will definitely go the way of the Pumpkin Spice Girls. Not really sure why. Oh, Leoric died too, thanks to an Abathur Illidan Abathur dive. I'm not really sure why the rest of their team didn't show up. Oh wow, they're just going straight boss. And Leoric is scouting this out, but the team isn't responding quick enough, I don't think, to contest this. They need more. KT's all the way top. Zagara's coming in. Here's the Monk. Well, this could be disastrous for the Pumpkin Spice Girls. Or not. The Monk is going to get rooted. He's not going to be happy. He is going to go down to a ground and pound. Oh! Muradin. This is going to go the way of the Pumpkin Spice Girls. Or is it? It's so hard to tell. Down. Oh, KT the sole survivor. Not even able to kill the Jaina. Thanks to all the shield spam by Tassadar and with the help of Abathur. That is a 4 for maybe 1 or maybe 0. It's hard to say. They get a boss in sub-level 10. In fact, all that fighting giving them level 10. And we have Force Wall on Tassadar, Shadowstalk on Tyrande, of course, Water Elemental on the Jaina. I like this over the Frost Ring here. Lets her control all those melee heroes. A Ultimate Evolution on the Abathur for cloning. He'll probably be cloning the Jaina or even the Illidan. And Illidan looks like he went Metamorphosis. Also pretty smart. You'll be able to hit a lot of heroes versus triple melee. And Pumpkin Spice Girls here, casually doing their boss top lane. Still maintaining a slight level lead here. Being out of lane, taking this boss is letting Robot Masters catch up. In XP, they're almost level 10, and this will be their chance to start looking to get back into this game. Zagara went to the Reconstitution. Oh, the Force Wall! Cutting off the monk and just ruining his life, basically. He was not going to be happy about that. We have Ma on Zagara, Entomb on Leoric, Phoenix on Kael'thas, Avatar on the Muradin, and Divine Palm on the monk. Betty wishes he had that a moment sooner. Might have lived with it. Another tribute coming up. This is Curse for Pumpkin Spice Girls, so now Robot Masters is forced to decide between defend versus this still full HP boss, or defend the tribute, which, if they don't defend the tribute, is going to get them cursed. Muradin looking to zone them out here and prevent them from arriving, but I don't think it's going to really help. Here we have an Avatar clone on the Jaina. There's going to be so much crit power. There's an Avatar. There is a big mod and a Shadow Sock used. And Illidan coming in with the big Metamorphosis. Water Elemental being used. Vine Palm on the Zagara. Leoric being forced to run. Down goes Kharazim. Down goes Muradin. A big Entomb. Not that big, actually. It's kind of entombed the Zagara. Oh my goodness. This Illidan just running roughshod over this team. And KT was not even there because he was busy defending against the boss. Now, that was a misplay on their team's part. They either needed to commit to one of two things. They needed to all go defend the boss. Look at this cheeky Abathur. Or they needed to all go and contest the tribute. Splitting themselves 4-1 like that, not a good thing. Abathur is a global hero. He can show up anywhere, so especially now that he has the clone, and things are not looking good for the Robot Masters here. This crazy non-warrior draft actually working out exceedingly well for them. This is Illidan able to go just super crazy. I mean, the shield power of the Tassadar, he's getting, if it stacks, whatever, it does ×2, he's getting something like 50-60% lifesteal per hit. It's a lot in any case, whatever the exact numbers are. It's a Force Wall on this monk. Oh, able to dash. Piercing Owl. Muradin Avatar being used, trying to just desperately push back their team, but Illidan not even taking any damage, basically. Now he is, after a little Kael'thas Living Bomb. A nice stun by Muradin here. Nice Entomb, but he's just going to dash right out of there. Oh, a nice big Maw, though, from Zagara on 2. Muradin dead, and the monk is in a lot of trouble. Oh, just missed the stun. Should be safe. Nope. Illidan perhaps finally in a bit of trouble. Oh, that's an Illidan clone. Never mind. Not the actual Illidan. And Pumpkin Spice Girls will look to move middle and just push, push, push. Cheeky Abathur running around in lane, spawning his locusts. Vine Palm being used, but it will be a whiff. They're digging away. Oh, Zagara was cleaned up by Illidan in the back. Nice Entomb, but he will just leap right out of it. That is the power of the Illidan. That's the problem. I like the Leo pick, but you don't want to be entombing Illidan. It's just simply not going to do anything. Need to be trying to entomb squish your heroes. That being said, there's so much on the defensive here. Metamorphosis used, Shadowstock used. Just so much on the defensive, and Entomb isn't really going to help them much here. This Zagara is definitely going to die momentarily. Down goes the Zagara. Ooh, this is brutal for the Robot Masters. AT, you need to watch out, sir. Illidan is the dive master. Level 13 not yet being reached. I don't believe they have a Shrink Ray available to them. Yeah, Kharazim doesn't have Shrink Ray. Shrink Ray is really nice to fight Illidan with. This Kael'thas will sadly die thanks to a Force Wall and a Water Elemental. Heals a clone of Jaina. We have a nice Entomb and an Avatar being used. Divine Palm on the Leoric, but it will not proc. Monk dashing out. Muradin desperately bashing away on these heroes. A nice 4-man Maw by Zagara, but sadly, they just don't have anything to follow up with it. They need that KT alive to follow up on the Maw. But this will be GG, going the way of the Pumpkin Spice Girls momentarily. It seems like our everyone's favorite Demon Hunter might be a bit back in the meta, especially with that double support. He's always been strong with double support, but I'm actually pretty impressed how well he chewed through the tankiness of Robot Master's front line. I don't even think Illidan took Giant Killer. He didn't. He took Sixth Sense, and he was still just chunky. I mean, mainly it's Abathur. Illidan Abathur is always a pain in the rear, but then when you have Tyrande and Tassadar backing you up, it's basically... you could almost say it's like a version of Cho'Gall, right? Because you got Abathur in the Illidan, and you have two other heroes just spamming their spells on the Illidan to heal and support him, and follow up with stuns and nukes and damage amps. And the Tyrande Hunter's Mark really does hurt with Illidan auto attacks because he auto attacks so fast. Yeah, that was very interesting. I definitely called it wrong in the end of the draft. I believe I leaned towards the team with all the warriors. That's maybe just my traditional drafty mindset, giving me tunnel vision there. But I just haven't fought with and against Illidan in so long that I don't think much about him. I forget how strong he is. And looking at Robot Master's draft, they drafted decently well versus the Illidan, for example. They picked up the Muradin. Leoric's not bad as well with Life Drain. Zagara and Ma. Karazim's, able to tank some damage and Divine Palm. KT ideally dumps a lot of damage, but they just really fell too much behind in XP. They barely hit their level 13 talents just as the game ended, and Pumpkin Spice Girls were well on their way past their level 16. They were level 17 or 18 or something like that. Just being that far down, I mean, they took the first fight really nicely, the first tribute. One of their biggest misplays, though, was the Kael'thas going to defend the boss and the rest of his team going to the tribute. No, I don't know who's making that call, but again, they needed to go 5. 5 defend the boss, 5 to the tribute. Splitting themselves up like that just basically fed the rest of the team for absolutely nothing, and lost a lot of XP and lane control there as a result. I mean, if the Kael'thas was there was no guarantee they were going to win the fight. Maybe they all died anyway, but they definitely would have had a better chance. Kael'thas is the main source of damage on the team, and especially if you have something like a Zagara Ma, you have to follow up with a Kael'thas Flame Bomb, Living Bomb, or Flame Strike, or Phoenix. You just need to dump the damage. That's their only source of burst. Karazim is not spec'd for damage in this game. He doesn't do anything. Leoric does very little damage on his own outside of Life Drain. Muradin does very little damage on his own. He went Skullcracker, which is kind of interesting, but probably didn't work out too well for him. Which means it's all up to the Zagara and the Kael'thas. But Zagara did go the Envenom Spines and did go the Mutalisk. But she just got so bullied by the Jaina and the Illidan, she was never able to get her damage off that much. Have a look at the stats. She still did the most damage by far. That's a little sad that she did over double Kael'thas' damage. But, and she even died 3 more times than the Kael'thas and still did more damage. So, KT needed to be a little more active that fight. Going Gathering Power was definitely not the way to go. He wants the extended Netherwind, Netherlapse, whatever it's called, especially now that the duration's lower. KT got a little nuked, but his Living Bomb still remains untouched, so he's still a very strong hero. Definitely the little more of a bold draft here by Pumpkin Spice Girls. I like it. It could have backfired on them if Robot Masters gained the momentum. If you have Muradin jumping into your backline and smacking around your Tyrande and Jaina, and Leoric entombing, draining people, and then, you're entombing that Jaina, that Tyrande. Tassadar you don't really want to entomb because he'll just void walk out of it. But you entomb the Jaina, entomb the Tyrande, and then just dump your Zagara Kael'thas damage on top. And with Entomb having a 50-second cooldown, you can do that very consistently. Muradin, Leap Avatar, the combo could have worked out. their team's potential. The draft had potential in the set of Robot Masters, absolutely, but it was definitely very combo reliant and somewhat ultimate reliant as well. Whereas the Pumpkin Spice Girls, when just like, look, we're picking Illidan, picking basically three supports, also in the form of Abathur, who's a semi-support in a sense, given he infests you and shields you and adds more damage. Um, and we're just going to put all our eggs in one basket on Illidan, and he's just going to go balls to the wall and kill everything, and no one's going to kill him. I mean, that was a 2 to 25. Only one who died was Tassadar and Illidan, so pretty interesting. Yeah, other team didn't have enough sense for Illidan. Exactly, I forgot to mention that earlier. A hero is definitely a very deciding factor. I mean, I believe the Illidan was third, fourth, maybe fourth pick in the draft. I think so. I mean, Illidan's always been strong against a lack of crowd control. You know, there wasn't a support with Shrink Ray. There wasn't really any slows other than Muradin and Leoric, but those are pretty easy for Illidan to dodge. And Kel'Thas can only lock him down for more than a second, or about a second. So, and in that second, you gotta try and blow him up as much as possible. But I thought that defense just being spammed on him every, 5 or so seconds, 5 to 10 seconds basically, were the cooldowns. Definitely rough, but I like it. That was fun. It was only a 12-minute game, so it was fast and furious. But not I have to say I expected it to go on a little longer. Um, there was also the misplay around the boss when Pumpkin Spice Girls dived their boss. Not dived the boss. They went for the boss, bottom Robot Master's boss, and Robot Masters was just really slow to respond and show up. I don't even think everyone showed up for that fight in the end. I think again 4 out of 5 or something showed up, and 4 of them died, and they almost killed the Jaina. But the Tassadar and Abathur is just too strong, shielding and spiking for damage. So against an Illidan, Illidan basically means your whole team's aggro right away, because the Illidan can't be aggressive without his team also being aggressive. Then the Illidan fails because he needs constant follow up. So with that in mind, Robot Masters probably should have, not probably, they needed to stay 5, as I like to say, as I always type in pub games or whatever, stay 5, so versus the heavy dive power and the burst power of the Jaina Tyrande, really needed to stay together a bit more. I mean, not ideal tools to work with for sure. Like someone mentioned in chat, didn't have enough stuns for Illidan. That's true. You don't always even necessarily need stuns, just something more reliable to slow him down. Or the Shrink Ray is one of his best sort of anti-counters. I mean, it only lasts 4 seconds, but slows his move speed, slows his attack speed, or move speed and damage, I believe it is. So they had some tools with the Muradin, but yeah. Very, very interesting. I like drafts like that. This is about my 4th or 5th week of chair league casting, and I like it when a team picks something a little different. And I used to see drafts like this, 6 maybe plus months ago, 8 months ago or something, before the whole chain stun meta rose up and thus pushing Illidan down. Really fun. Like, I love this draft. I just haven't seen something like it in so long that it threw me off guard, but in a good way. So I really like that Pumpkin Spice Girls, you know, just did something a bit different. So thank you for an entertaining match, everybody.